While Arcana Unleashed is coming out next week, we actually have a brand new third-party release this week, the Field Guide to Floral Dragons from Hitpoint Press. So, as is always the case every single time, I thought it would be fun to have a look through the subclasses on offer here, as well as the species option, which is option, sort of. You'll see what I mean. My name is Jason, and this is my channel, The Dungeon Himbo, where I do reviews, I do build guides for characters you may or may not like. I don't know if you're going to hate watch any of them. That's really not me to worry about. And I do tier lists as well for different classes, and I will be moving on to other things at some point. If any of that sounds good to you, then maybe subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, which should be achievable, but is also pushing my luck a little bit. And like the video, comment, tell me which of these subclasses you like and which you don't like. Without any more ado, let's get into the video. We say let's get into the video and not let's get into the reviews, which would make more sense. You can't see it all. I will go through this on Thursday when I go through the general book review, but this book is stunning. Even on D&D Beyond, there is so much gorgeous artwork in here, and the general presentation is lovely. They've got these handwritten notes, as you can see. Different handwriting is from different characters from within the book. It's got all sorts of ecology information and also just so much cool stuff for the dragons themselves, which, as I said, we'll cover on Thursday. Today, we're just going to cover the 3 subclasses and the 1 species option. So let's kick off with the Circle of Flowers Druid, which is not the same as the Circle of Petals Druid from Obujima. The more third-party stuff that comes out, the more crossover there is. The first druids of the Circle of Flowers were people who sought out and bonded with floral dragons. The druids learned how to imitate floral dragons' forms and unique existence, I can speak, as beings that blend plants and animals. Now these druids protect the floral dragons who first inspired the circle, as well as the balance of nature in both its beauty and ferocity. At level 3, you get Floral Form. You gain different benefits depending on the type of flower you choose to appear on yourself. Once you gain access to a Floral Form spell, you always have it prepared, and it doesn't count against the number of spells you can prepare each day. And if you gain access to a spell that doesn't appear on the druid list, it is still a druid spell for you. So if you go for, now we're going to be testing if I know how to pronounce plant stuff, and I'm pretty sure the answer is no. I'm going to go with Aconite, but it might be Aconite. Clematis or Larkspur, you get the Detect Poison and Disease spell always prepared, and you gain resistance to poison damage. The next one is Amaranth, Apple Tree, Jade Vine, and Magnolia. That one was easy enough. This gives you the Good Berry spell, and whenever you use a spell of first level or higher to restore hit points to a creature, the creature gains 1d4 additional hit points, which is a nice little bonus. Azalea, Hydrangea, Peony, and Succulent, you always have the Cure Wounds spell prepared. You always have it, and you have advantage on saving throws to resist being poisoned. Thank goodness I edit these videos. Cherry Blossom, Dandelion, Sonia, and Wisteria, you always have the Sleep spell prepared, and magic can't put you to sleep, so you're part elf at that point. Lamium and Water Lily, you get Create or Destroy Water always prepared, and you gain a swim speed equal to your base walking speed. And then Rhododendron, Ornithogalum, Manchineel, and Vampire Lily. Is that a real thing? That's sick. The goth in me really appreciates that. You get the Bane spell always prepared, and you can use your bonus action to dash towards a hostile creature. The wording on that's really interesting because dash technically just gives you your movement speed again, but this means you can only use it if you're going to be charging something. Of these options, the Amaranth one that gives you extra healing is really cool. That's just always on, and although 1d4 isn't a huge amount, it's a nice little boost sometimes, right? And then I also really like the final one. Bane is a fantastic spell, and the ability to dash towards something as a bonus action might make you a pretty sturdy melee character. Also at level 3, you get the Draconic Wild Shapes. This is really interesting. I've not seen this done. I don't think I've seen this done before with a druid. You add the following floral dragon shapes to your beast shapes that you can use with a wild shape feature. We use the words too many shape in that sentence. Too many shape, too many times. Ignoring any restrictions based on CR, swim speed, or fly speeds. So at level 2, which we're already at because we're level 3 when we get the subclass, you get the Clematis dragon, the Dandelion dragon, and the Rhododendron dragon. I suppose we should have a quick look at these, shouldn't we? Let's see if it actually works. It wasn't working earlier when I had a look, because D&D Beyond. So these are level 2 ones. You get the Clematis dragon. Look at this thing. It's adorable. It can breathe air or water. It has a +3 to hit, so you're not really going to be using that to attack. It's a CR half. It can also, it's pretty good at jumping, and it has poison petals, so if something hits it, they take poison damage, potentially. The Dandelion dragon is also very cute. This can take an additional action on its turn once per day because it can control time. Yep, sure, that seems normal. It has multi-attack, which at level 3 is pretty wild. A +4 to hit, which isn't awful, but it's not great. It does 1d4 +2 piercing damage, and it gives them a rash, which means that they have disadvantage on dexterity checks and saving throws. That's pretty cool. Oh, it can also just shift to another plane of existence of its choice with a bonus action. That seems reasonable. That feels broken to me, but hey. And the final level 3 one is the Rhododendron Dragon, which has advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing or smell. Has a bite and a claw attack. The bite is +4 to hit, and then 1d8 plus 2 piercing damage. The claw is +4 also, 1d6 plus 2, but can potentially push things away and make them prone. And it has a special reaction which can impose disadvantage on an attack roll, which isn't bad. So that's the level 3 ones. Level 4, we get to the Azalea Dragon. This gets pack tactics, which is incredible. It also has a advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing or smell, and it has a +4 to hit, 1d10 plus 2 piercing damage, which is pretty good damage. And when you hit a creature, it must succeed in a con save or become poisoned until the end of its next turn. That's also very good. Level 8, we get the Amaranth and the Jade Vine. The Amaranth Dragon here can make 2 melee attacks, +4 to hit, has 2d6 plus 3 damage. The damage isn't bad, but the +4 to hit is rough. Advantage on all wisdom perception checks, and you can't tell if it's a dragon if it's not moving. So it has advantage on dexterity stealth checks. I think that's pretty cool. And then the Jade Vine one. Look at this book, is gorgeous. +6 to hit, one of the most reliable ones to hit, but it only does 1d4 plus 4 damage, which isn't great. It has blind sight of 60 feet and dark vision of 60 feet, which is really, really cool. It has the floral appearance thing again and the keen senses thing again, as long as it's hearing based. It also has a luminescence feature, which allows it to make a bright glow, which forces creatures within 60 feet that can see it to make a DC 13 con save or take damage and become blinded. And blinded, whether a creature fails or succeeds, it can move up to half its speed. You also have a bonus action to dash, disengage, or hide, so it's rogue adjacent. Level 12, we get the Helisonia Dragon and the Water Lily Dragon. The Helisonia here, 3 attacks, 2 with its beak, 1 with its talons, +4 again to hit, which at this level is going to feel absolutely awful. 1d8 plus 2 damage for the beak, 2d6 plus 2 for the talons, and it can potentially charm creatures. The Water Lily Dragon is a +8 to hit. Here we go, but it doesn't have multi-attack. It's huge though, which is not bad. This one is for swimming, which is very funny. If a creature is on its back, it can impose disadvantage on an attack roll and potentially push the creature away. And then the final 2 are the Larkspur and the Peony. The Larkspur Dragon is multi-attack. 2 attacks, 1 with the beak, 1 with the talons, which is a +6 to hit. 1d8 plus 3 plus 1d10 damage for the beak, and 2d6 plus 3 plus 1d10 for the talons. Not bad. Any creature that hits it takes 2d6 poison damage as well. So that's pretty good in terms of tanking, which is nice. It also has a fly speed of 20 feet. So it's always nice to have access to a flying speed too. And then the Peony Dragon is a legendary creature. Does it mean you get legendary actions? They don't make this stuff clear. I would say talk to your DM. But this has... It uses its roaring floral presence to potentially deal thunder damage and deafen creatures. And then it makes 3 attacks. 1 with its bite, which is +6 to hit and for 2d10 plus 3. And then claws, which is +6 for 2d6 plus 3. And it also has a tail attack, which is 2d8 plus 3, which it can use as a legendary action, which can also knock a creature prone. So those are all interesting, but they don't feel like they're fantastic in combat. This isn't like a Moon Druid thing, as far as I can tell. It's more of a bit of everything. That was just the level 3 stuff. At level 6, you get Drendology defenses. As your connection with flowers deepens, you take on more plant-like traits. You can cast the Bark Skin spell on yourself once a day without expending a spell slot. When you do it like this, you don't need to concentrate. You don't need to concentrate as a 5.5e anyway, but hey, 1 free casting is not a bad thing. Level 10, we get Flower Circle. During a short rest, you can cause an area of flowers to bloom on the ground within a 15-foot radius centered on you that lasts for an hour until you are incapacitated or until you leave the circle. Creatures of your choice within the area gain the following benefits. When they regain hit points by spending hit dice or with magic, they regain additional hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. Creatures can only benefit from this once per short rest. They can't be surprised, and if they spend a full hour in the circle, they gain resistance to poison damage for 8 hours. You can only do this once per long rest, but that's pretty cool. And then at level 14, you get Full Bloom. Depending on your initial pick for your floral form, you get different benefits. So the first one is melee attacks deal an extra 1d8 poison damage, and you gain immunity to poison damage. The second one is you get access to Hero's Feast for free, and you can cast it once every 10 days without needing the material component. The third one is whenever you use a spell at first level higher to restore hit points, the creature regains additional hit points equal to 1d8 plus 5, so that's plus the 1d4 of previous, which is pretty good. Fourth one is Etherealness is prepared once per day for free. Your swim speed doubles for the fifth one, and you can breathe underwater, and you gain immunity to cold damage. That's not bad. The Penultimate one gives you Mordekainen's sword, not arcane sword, which takes the form of razor sharp swirling leaves and petals, and you can cast it without needing material components. I mean, it's not a bad spell. And the final one is you get wings and a flying speed equal to your walking speed. That is it for that one. It feels very higgledy-piggledy in terms of what it can do, but it's quite customizable. You do need to plan ahead with this. This is one of those where you choose your thing at level 3, and then you have to stick with that until you get your final feature at level 14, so you do need to be aware of that. It doesn't get extra attack, although theoretically melee weapon attacks here, this would affect your form, because you do keep your class features, right? Do you? Or is it just feats? It might just be feat. It's an odd one. It doesn't feel especially powerful, but I do like the artwork. The next is the field researcher. Rangers investigate and protect the natural world. These explorers seek to preserve and understand the magic of floral dragons. Their skills let them roam wherever the research requires, and their observational abilities make them formidable opponents and steadfast allies should danger arise. Level 3, you get field research and magic. It's your spell list. You get detect magic at 3, locate animals or plants at 5, plant growth at 9, control water at 13, and awaken at level 17. These are fine. They're obviously very thematic, but they're not great. Case study, however, also at level 3. When you hit a creature with an attack, you can use your bonus action to make another attack with the same weapon against that creature. This is a functional third attack, basically, especially if you are using a longbow or something. This could potentially be very, very powerful. It also means you're basically getting extra attack at level 3, which is solid. Sure, you have to bonus action to do your Hunter's Mark stuff, but I think that's still pretty potent. Also at level 3, you get researcher skills. Whenever you make an intelligence check, you gain a bonus equal to your wisdom modifier, and you gain proficiency with either history, investigation, or nature. The bonus to your checks is pretty nice, so I like that. Level 7, you get research team. When you're adjacent to an ally, you can use your reaction to grant your ally advantage on one attack roll or skill check they make on their turn. That's fine. There's a lot of advantage in 5.5e. Level 11 is hands-on analysis. When you cast the spells Animal Friendship, Animal Messenger, Conjure Animals, Locate Animals or Plants, or Speak with Animals, you can also target or summon plants and dragons as well as beasts, as long as the rest of the requirements are met. Additionally, when you use a spell at first level or higher to restore hit points to a plant or dragon, the creature regains additional hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. I mean, that's all interesting. What among these would make you want to heal? Animal Friendship, maybe? So you could do Dragon Friendship? That's kind of fun. Actually, I guess depending on the campaign you're in, that might be really strong. The final feature here is Floral Collaboration. You can cast Summon Dragon without a material component. You can cast it once for free without a spell slot. You regain that ability on a long rest. When you cast it like this, you can choose to summon a Floral Dragon or a plant of CL5 or lower instead of the Dragon Spirit. When you summon a Floral Dragon, you can choose to make a Wisdom animal handling check instead of Constitution save to maintain concentration on the spell. I mean, that gives you a lot more options, which I really do like. I haven't looked through every single dragon yet, but I have to assume that having access to the entirety of the Floral Dragon book, although I guess it would be CR5 or lower here, right? A Floral Dragon or plant of CL5 or lower. Yeah, so I have to assume the CL5 there is meant to apply to the Floral Dragon too, but that's still a lot more stuff that you can theoretically summon. The only issue is it's not going to scale up as well, although you are a ranger. You don't get to go above level 5, so maybe I'm wrong. This one feels a fair bit stronger than the druid. It's a bit more focused. The case study feature is just quite potent to begin with. The issue is that it's making an already bonus action heavy class more bonus action heavy, which is a problem, but it's nice to have access to, I think. So I quite like that. The final subclass is the Fungus warlock. You entered into a pact with a great fungus, intertwining your life with it in exchange for your power. The fungus is a strange entity, neither animal nor vegetable. Tying your life to it changes you in peculiar ways as your body becomes a substrate for its mycelium. The alien will of the fungus is difficult to comprehend, but the deeper you go down this path, the more it makes sense. Fungi may wish to grow and expand, revitalize their environment through decay, or carry out some other strange design. You may have tied yourself to a fungus that is part of the natural cycle of life or death, or perhaps you've given yourself over to the corrupted Osa, taking on its vengeful mission to eradicate the floral dragons. That is a type of fungus which is real angry and can make the floral dragons corrupted, which changes their stat blocks, which is a really cool mechanic. You get an expanded spell list. Look at this, it's so cool. So your spell list is Entangle and False Life, Calm Emotions and Detect Thoughts, Create Food and Water and Plant Growth, Black Tentacles and Compulsion, and then Commune with Nature and Contagion. That's not a very good spell list. It is thematic, but it is not very powerful. Yeah. Also at level 3, you get Spread the Network. When you damage a creature with a spell, you can add the target to your network for 1 minute or until your concentration is broken, as if you are concentrating on a spell. When you damage a creature in your network with a spell, you can deal 1d4 necrotic damage to all other creatures in your network as a bonus action. You can have a number of creatures in your network equal to your proficiency bonus, and when a creature dies, it's no longer part of your network. The damage you deal to the other creatures increases to 2d4 when you reach level 10 in the class, and 3d4 when you reach level 11, so level 17. So level 5, you have a proficiency bonus of 3, so you can have up to 3 creatures connected, and you get 2 blasts if you're Eldritch Blast, right? You get 2 shots with it, which means that you can theoretically hit 2 creatures and connect to them, and then take a bonus action to do 1d4 to one of them, which is okay. 3d4 to 6 creatures as a bonus action isn't awful. It doesn't have to be a first level spell, but it takes your concentration to do this, which is a little rough. At least I think it does. It says as if you were concentrating on a spell, which to me suggests that you have to concentrate on it, so it's a cool feature. I don't think it's strong enough. At level 6, you get Mushroom Scouts. You gain the ability to sprout watchful mushrooms. As a magic action, you can create a mushroom on a surface you can touch. You decide the appearance and type of mushroom you create. As a magic action, you can telepathically hear everything the mushroom hears across any distance, as long as you're on the same plane of existence. It lasts until the mushroom is destroyed or until you sever the connection. You can have a number of mushrooms equal to your charisma active at one time. That's such a cool feature. I really like that. I know it has 0 combat function, but what a wonderful feature. Level 10, you get Seeing Unseen Threads. This gives you resistance to necrotic damage and a blind sight of 15 feet. It's not bad. And then Cycle of Decay. Whenever you deal necrotic damage to a creature, you gain 2d6 temp health, which is alright. That's a pretty underwhelming final feature, I would say. Theoretically, you're triggering that every turn if you're doing a bonus action, which you can do. So, I mean, I guess it's what, like 7 temp health every turn? Isn't bad, but it's not great. It's a little underwhelming. I think the subclasses here are really interesting. I don't dislike the design at all. I would just pump the numbers up, personally, if I was doing them. On to the species, which is the Floral dragonborn, which is why I said it's sort of one. There's a lot of lore. I'm not going through it all. Instead, you are a humanoid, but you count as a plant with regard to magic. Your size is medium or small. You have a base speed of 30, and you choose a Floral Legacy, which grants you a skill proficiency as shown in the table, and also informs your Floral Breath weapon and Floral Fortitude traits. It gives you a bunch of then like info as to how you could do it. So if you're Floral Legacy of Beauty, it gives you suggested floral dragons you could be related to, which gives you proficiency in persuasion. Guardian gives you perception. Healer gives you medicine. Poisoner gives you intimidation. Water plant gives you athletics. And wildflower gives you acrobatics. You also have your floral breath weapon, which allows you to replace an attack on your turn with a 15-foot cone. Each creature in the area has to make a con save, which is 8 plus your charisma bonus modifier plus your proficiency bonus. On a failed save, it takes 1d8 magical slashing damage and triggers the breath weapon effect of your Floral Legacy. On a successful save, it takes half as much, and the effect is not triggered. The damage goes up by 1d8 at all of the cantrip levels, so 5, 11, and 17. Kind of defeats the object of me saying cantrip levels, but here we are. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. So the damage is nice, but the power here is most likely in the effects. If you went for beauty, you can charm the creature. It gives the creature disadvantage on attacks against creatures other than you until the next turn. Healer allows you to choose a creature of your choice within 15 feet of you to regain hit points equal to half the total amount of damage your floral breath weapon did to creatures that failed their saving throws. That could potentially be very, very strong. Poisoner poisons people, surprisingly. Water plant makes them prone, and wildflower allows you to move without provoking opportunity attacks until the end of your next turn, as long as one creature failed its save. You also get Floral Fortitude, which gives you advantage on a specific save. Beauty is magical sleep, Guardian is frightened, Healer is exhaustion, Poisoner is poisoned, Water plant is restrained, and Wildflower is charm. You then get Draconic Blossoming at level 5, which allows you to take a bonus action for a minute, regain 1d4 hit points at the start of your turn, and additionally any creature that attacks you must first succeed on a charisma saving throw, 8 plus your charisma modifier plus your proficiency bonus, or be forced to choose a different target for its attack. You can only do this once per long rest, though. The whole thing. I mean, that's interesting. I think it's a cool addition to Dragonborns. It's a bunch of species in a trench coat, basically, which is always nice. And again, the art is gorgeous. If you are buying this book purely because of the player options, I would say it's only worth it if you really love the vibes of them. They don't They add interesting things mechanically, but not interesting things from like a power perspective. You also don't get any spells or magic items or anything. This book is really about the dragons themselves, which I will go over on Thursday. So if you are interested in finding out whether or not this book is for you and this has not grabbed you, you can check that out. But that is it. Nice to only have 3 subclasses for a change. I'm so used to these having so many, so very many. But if you enjoyed this, please check out some of my other videos. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and so on and so forth. I hope that you are well and that you will continue to do well. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead of you. I will catch you on Thursday or whenever it is you next tune in. And until then, take care of yourself. Goodbye.